Now, hello, my friends. Now, since we have seen the outline for what we need to know about motion, let's dive into our first class. And our first class will practically be the definition and the types of motion. Of course, this will be our lesson 1. Now, take note that we're going to take everything from the scratch. As we teach it, we answer the past question in each part. If you also go to my notes, the past question under definition and types are also arranged. So you first of all take definition and types. You see all the past question, be it Waec and Jamb. Are you seeing that? So practically we have about 20 questions on just definition and types of word motion. Are you set? Let's dive into the class. Now quickly let's start the class. Let's say for example now this is a car and you step into the car and decide to put on the car and start to move the car. They can move from one point and they can move to another point. Now the car started from this point A and stopped at this point B. The change in position of an object with time is what we call motion. The car was first of all in point A, but now the car is now in point B. What happened? It changed position with time. So the change of position of a body with time is simply what we call motion. Do you understand? Very simple word definition. So we want to define that motion can simply be defined as the change in position of a body with time. When a body changes position with time, that body is said to be called under what we call motion. Now, take note that the branch of physics that studies motion is what we call kinematics. What I call it kinematics. Kinematics. So what's kinematics? It's the branch of physics that studies motion. It does not talk about the cause of motion. It's only focused on what motion. Look at it. Kinematics can be defined as a branch of physics that studies what motion without talking about the cause of motion. What's the cause of motion? The cause of motion is force. Are you seeing that? So, but here we are not talking about what is the cause of motion. We're not studying force. We're just studying what is motion. So the branch of physics that focus on just motion is what we call your kinematics. Everybody again, what is motion? Motion can be defined as the changing position of a body with time. I will say the branch of physics that talk about motion is called your kinematics. Now, quickly, what are the types of motion? Remember that this class, we are focusing on definition and types of motion. Now, practically, there are 4 types of motion. Number 1, we have what to call your random motion. Are you seeing that? Number 2 is what we call your translational motion or your rectilinear motion. So number 1, random motion. Number 2, your translational motion or your rectilinear motion. Number 3 is what we call your rotational motion. Rotational motion. And number 4, either we call it your oscillatory motion or we call it your vibratory motion or we call it your periodic motion. So either you say your periodic motion or you say oscillatory motion or you say vibratory motion. These are practically the 4 types of motion. So close your eyes and tell me, what are the 4 types of motion? Number 1, we have your random motion. Number 2, we have your translational motion, also called your rectilinear motion. That's motion on a straight line. We have your rotational motion, which is motion of a body around a circular path. And we have what we call your periodic, your oscillatory, or your vibratory. Now let's take them one after the other as we see them so that we're able to appreciate their past question. Let's start with the first guy, random motion. What's random motion? This is simply the motion of a body at irregular, random, or haphazard or disorderly manner, no specific direction. That's the summary. The motion of a body in an irregular manner, a random manner, or a haphazard manner, or disorderly manner is said to be called a random motion. You just wake up, you don't have a dream. You say today you want to be a boxer, tomorrow you say you want to be a doctor, next tomorrow you say you want to be a pharmacist, another day you wake up, you say you want to be a footballer. You are just going up and down. Such motion is said to be called random motion. It is a motion of a body in an irregular or random or haphazardly or disorderly manner. That is no specific direction. Do you understand? Now, examples of such motion is what to call your Brownian motion. Brownian motion is an example of your random motion. Now, what are the examples of your Brownian motion? The first one I want to talk about is the irregular particles suspended in water. So, if you check water, you are going to see that water is made up of particles. Now, those particles in the water are constantly moving in random motion. They don't have direction. Now, if you check for your chemistry, you should know that we have solid, liquid, and gases. And that what makes solid, liquid, and gases are the random motion or movement of the particles of this substance, either solid, liquid, and gas. So for water, the molecules are constantly moving. They don't have direction. The second is your smoke particles. Anytime you see smoke, try to look into the smoke, you're going to see that it consists of tiny particles which are randomly moving. Now listen to me. Follow the class genuinely, because if you follow the class, you'll be able to answer all the past questions. I'm spending my time to explain it so that no question will be what stressful to you. So smoke particles, and number 3 is what we call your the motion of gas molecules. So what are the examples of your Brownian motion? We said the example of your random motion is Brownian motion. What are Brownian motion? It is motion of particles suspended in either water, or particles suspended in what, in air, or particles suspended in what, in gases. Do you understand? Those particles are in random motion. Now let's give a mental picture. Now practically you can see that, let's say this is smoke particles. You can see inside this smoke, you can see particles which are suspended. These particles are practically in random motion. Or your torchlight, you're going to see that it consists of what? Of particles. Are you seeing that? Another thing you can see, we talk about water. These are the molecules of water. They are constantly at random motion. Are you seeing them? And the third one is that we'll talk about gas molecules. These gas molecules are constantly colliding and hitting the walls of the container. When we talk about random motion, we are referring to these particles that don't have what direction. Do you understand? Random, scattered, haphazard, disordered manner. Are you seeing it? After that, the second type of motion we talk about is what you call your translational or your rectilinear motion. Anytime you hear translational or rectilinear motion, what comes to your mind? Motion in one direction, or motion in a straight line.
Hold on a bit. The complete series of classes, right, as far as your syllabus is concerned regarding your Jamb and Waec, everything has been covered in details for you in the LearnLift app. And guess what? The sweet part is that you have access to your CBT, right? You have access to your video lessons, you have access to your notes, you have access to your past questions. Everything from the beginning to the end is directly in the LearnLift app for you. So all you have to do is just mark down to Play Store or App Store and download the LearnLift app, where you follow all your classes from the beginning to the end. A quick one before we move. Let's get back to class. Enjoy.
So when a body moves in a straight line, it is said to undergo what we call your translational motion, or your rectilinear motion. Motion in a straight line. So what's motion in a straight line? Is your rectilinear motion. You just make up your mind and say that I want to be a medical doctor, and you focus on that dream. You are translational, you are rectilinear. You make up your mind, you see this fine girl in your class, say it, if I don't marry this girl, let the word end. If this girl will marry, you are focused, you are translational. Do you understand? So motion in one direction. And what are the examples of translational motion? Number 1, a boy running in a straight line from one goalpost to another. The guy is running on a straight line. Look at the word. The main thing we are checking here is straight line. We don't care whether the guy is running, because the guy can be running haphazardly in a random manner. But what we are checking here, that the guy is running on the straight line to the goalpost. Number 2, a ball thrown vertically upward. You throw the ball vertically upward, the ball goes straight up. So when the ball is thrown vertically upward, this vertically here talks about your straight line. Are you seeing that? Practically now, let's explain. Let's see this. Now you can see an example of this. You can see a boy running with a ball on a straight line. In as far as the boy is moving on this straight line, that boy is said to exhibit what you call your translational or your rectilinear motion. Do you understand? So random motion, haphazard, scattered, disordered manner, translational motion on a straight line. The third type of motion is practically what you call your rotational motion. What's rotational motion? It is motion of a body in a circular path around the center. Motion of a body in a cycle about a center, or axis. When a body keep moving around a circular path, maintaining its center is said to be called your rotational motion. It involves the motion of a body in a circular path about a center. The body keeps moving a circular path about a center, or as it's said to exhibit what we call your rotational motion. What are the examples of rotational motion? Number 1, we have rotation of the earth. You know that the earth rotates, and the rotation of the earth causes day and night, while the revolution of the earth causes your Happy New Year, and that's changing years, right? You know what make a year 365 days, but day and night is 24 hours. So the earth is constantly rotating around it orbits. That's an example of the rotational motion. Now bring it down to what we see in normal life. Rotation of electric blade fans. You see your blade fans, electric fan blade. You see the fan blades are rotating in a circular motion. They keep rotating around a circular path. Are you seeing that? Another one is what we call your what? A move in the wheel of a moving car. You see a car moving the wheel where the tire is. You see the tire moving in the circular path, maintaining that orbit. That motion is what we call your what? Your rotational motion. Now, there's a constant question why do ask. Are you seeing that? Now, this, which is the fourth example, it is called the motion of a couple. Most time they can ask you, what's the motion of a collinear body moving in opposite what direction? Now, in as far as moving in opposite direction, in as far as collinear, what should come to your mind is a couple. Couple is an example of rotational motion. When I get to couple, equilibrium of force, I'm going to explain that. Do you understand? So, couple is an example of your word rotational motion. It's a constant Waec question. For Waec student, take note. Do you understand? So, what are the examples of translational motion? We say rotation of the earth around is as the motion of electric fan base. We talk about the moving wheel of a word of a car and motion of a word of a couple. Now, practically, what are the examples? This is it, rotation of the earth. This is the earth. So the earth keep rotating around. This is the sun, right? So the earth keep rotating. That is example of your rotational movement. To talk about your electric fan blade, you can see the electric fan it keep rotating around that circular path. Are you seeing that? And take note, this is a car wheel. You can see the car wheel moving, maintaining that circular path. These are examples of rotational motion. If you miss this here, I will look for you and blow you. You must join the 350 gang for those writing for those writing Jamb. For Waec students, physics na A course, they know they doubt time. You don't need the sport to pass. You feel me, right? Quickly, if you say you practically understand that, the fourth one is what we call your oscillatory motion, or you call it your vibratory motion, or you call it your periodic motion. Now let's explain them first before we talk. When we talk about oscillatory, we are talking about to and fro, or you say upward and downward. Are you seeing that? So when a body is moving to and fro or upward and downward, it's said to exhibit oscillatory. Or oscillatory upward and downward or to and fro is also called the word vibratory. Do you understand? So when a body is moving upward and downward and to and fro, it's vibrating. So, and that's oscillatory or vibrating. Now, in as far as it is occurring at regular intervals, it is called periodic now. That's why most times in ladies that for a childbearing lady, you undergo what to call your menstrual cycle, which is your menstruation, and it occurs every month. It is periodic. That's why they call it period. It occurs every time at constant interval. You must see it every month. If you don't see it every month, just know that Wala bust. Just the play. Where are we, everybody? Quickly. Now, what are now definition of oscillatory? Take note that it is called your to and fro movement, upward and downward, or we said it is the vibration of a body. So you just enter the exam word, they say to and fro, upward and downward, just shout. Tell them oscillatory. We said it is also called your vibratory motion, because if you're moving upward and downward or sideways, they are said to be vibrate. And we now say that any sort motion that repeats itself at regular interval is said to be called periodic. Because it's repeating itself at regular interval, it is said to be periodic. So to and fro or upward and downward, and you are repeating yourself or at regular interval, we say it's called periodic, or we say it is called oscillatory, or we said it is called your vibration motion. Do you understand? Now, what are now the examples? The first example here is that the motion of a simple pendulum. I'll show you simple pendulum. We're going to conduct the experiment where you move this pendulum, it start to move to and fro, to and fro. You can see it move to, fro, to, fro, to, fro. Do you understand? So that motion is said to be called your oscillatory or your vibratory motion. Another motion is what we call the skin of a talking drum. You hit the drum, gang, 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 gang. Are you with me? So as you are hitting the drum to and fro, look at it, to and fro, to and fro, to and fro, to and fro. And another thing again, as you are hitting the skin starts to vibrate. So because it is vibrating, it's said to undergo oscillatory or vibratory or periodic motion. Are you seeing that? The third one you need to talk about is what we call your strings of your plug jitter. Now, if you are playing your jitter, have you observed that you are playing those jitter, those strings are vibrating. They keep vibrating. They're vibrating. That means an example of your vibratory motion. Are you seeing all these things? Please, all of them are past questions. I'm going to show you quickly. Now, the last one is what we call the prongs of turning fork. The prongs of your turning fork. So, they are examples of your turning fork. We use your turning fork for resonance. Constant Jamb question. If you carry a turning fork and you hit a closed pipe, you're going to hear noise. That noise is due to what we call your what resonance. So the vibrating body set another body into vibration, and both of them vibrate at least to a natural plane. We're going to talk about that when we get to your waves. Do you understand? And the next one is what we call the mass of a spring balance. Mass of a spring balance. I'm going to show you examples of all of them. These are what we call your oscillatory or your vibratory motion. Now, practically, if you say you understand, now let's see the examples. The first one I'll talk about is the motion of a single pendulum. As the pendulum is moving, it moves from 1, 2, and 3, to and fro until the motion is exhausted. The second is what we call your talking drum. This the motion of the skin of a talking drum. As you are doing gang, to and fro, and the skin is vibrates. Do you understand? The next we'll talk about your strings of a guitar. As you are playing that instrument, this guitar is said to be vibrating. So that's an example of the vibratory motion. And we'll talk about your prong. We said the prong can be used to hit a closed pipe and it will produce noise. Like just the way you do stamp cry and make noise. That is also an example of the vibratory motion. And we also have what to call your mass of a spiral spring. If you draw the spiral spring, it will go up. You raise it to, you see dangling. That's a spring. Do you understand? So these are examples of practically your oscillatory motion. Are you promising me you understand it? If practically say you understand it, guess what? Let's go to past question. Now, because of time, I'll take 3 past questions for WAEC, 3 past questions from your Jamb. Are you with me? So, but go to the note. The note has roughly of about 20 questions just on definition and types. All they are asking WAEC, or they are asking Jamb. Quickly, let's dive into the Jamb question. Jamb 1980 question 12. The question says that the motion of a moving skin of a talking drum can rightly describe as option A, say translational, B, say random, C, talk about rotational, D, talk about oscillatory. Pause it, tell me your answer. I hope you are choosing your answer. If you miss it, I'll blow you. We just talk about that talking drum is an example of your oscillatory. Oscillatory is also called your vibratory. And option E said your transrotatory. Is it transitory? Transitory. So practically what becomes the answer? The answer becomes your option D, which is talking drum, right? Practically, let's see. When I drop a question, pause it, choose your answer before we choose. 1995 question 5, the question says that when the ball rolls on a smooth level ground, the motion of its center, when the ball rolls on a smooth level ground, the motion of its center, motion of a body around the center is called dash. Option A, C, translational, B, said oscillatory, C, talk about your random, D, talk about your rotational. The motion of the body around the center, we said it's called your rotational. Talk about your wheel of a car, we talk about your ceiling fan, we talk about rotation around the air, just talk about the couple. So making option D to become the answer, which is your rotational motion. Now, see on Jamb 2006 question 30, the question says that the motion of smoke particles from a chimney, is it chimney or chimney? From a chimney is a typical example of option A, talk about your oscillatory motion, B, talk about rotational motion, C, talk about circular motion, D, talk about random motion. In as far smoke contain particles, and those particles are constantly at random motion, making option D to become the answer. Are you feeling me? Did you get all that? Is 3 questions from Jamb. Let's go to WAEC fast. Let's see what WAEC got. WAEC 2006 question 5. The question says an object is said to undergo oscillatory motion when it's option A said it's an erratic manner, B said to and fro about a fixed point, C talk about the circular path, D said along a continuous path from the starting point. Of course, when an object undergoes oscillatory, what is it, to and fro or upward and sideways? Or the object said to vibrate, or it occurs at periodic intervals. So making option B to become the answer. You feel that, right? Quickly, let's see the next question. Still on Jamb. Jamb 1989 question 11. The question says the motion of a sprung of a sounding turning fork. Give me the answer before they ask. What's sprung of a turning fork? What is it? Option A said random, B said translational, C talk about rotational, D talk about vibrating. We said that sprung of a turning point help to cause resonance. B, when you hit it, that body starts to vibrate, making that vibratory or oscillatory or periodic motion, making option D to become the answer. Quickly, if you say you understand that, let's see WAEC 2005 question 9. The question says that which of this type of motion does a body undergo when acted on by a couple? We'll talk about couple, right? Option A says vibrational motion, B says translational motion, C talk about rotational motion, D talk about random motion. Motion of a body acted upon by a couple. What do we say? We said it is rotational. So making option C to become the answer. Option C become the answer, rotational. 3 questions from that 3 questions. I told you that what they have asked in just definition and type of motion is 20 past questions, about 20 something past questions. All of them are in my notes. So now that I finished definition and types, run and finish all of them. Ensure you get all before you move to the next thing. But for now, I'm going to end the class here, as I'll see you in my next class, where we'll now talk about what are the causes of what motion. Cause of motion, which will be our lesson 2. But for now, peace out.
Hope you've enjoyed this class. Guess what? To follow up for more classes, just download the LearnLift app, whether on Play Store or App Store, and then follow up your classes. You must do extremely well. I'll see you in class. Bye-bye.